Okay.
I'm just agreeing.
Okay.
I'm just like,
Are you? Hello and welcome to BTG's Quick Reviews. My name is Barrett Courtney. As always, I am your host, and here joined with me is one of my great co-hosts and even better friends, my favorite chunky punk, Ricky Baldazan. What's up, Ricky? How you doing today?
What's up, son?
Sup?
Sup was good.
You look tired.
I'm not.
Yeah?
good.
Are you awake?
I'm good. I'm actually
slept.
trying to start some stuff here.
Oh yeah, you trying to start stuff?
A bone to pick with you.
Bone to pick? Is it this bone?
Yeah.
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 And to my far left, I think your far right is our. I'm getting texts really quick.
What do you mean my far right?
They're far right because they're gonna look at the way we see this on the screen right now.
I got
is
it.
how they see it.
I got it.
Oh no, it's how
left.
they say it.
How they see it, not
See it?
how they say it. This intro is already a disaster. On my far
I
left
want to redo
and
this.
your far right is our guest this week for our YouTube videos, our good friend Annie Vogt. What's up, Annie? How you doing this week?
Good. Are we gonna redo that intro?
No.
All right.
Just going into it.
This is how it is. This is real life. We like to keep it real here at BZG.
Yeah.
Too real. Too real.
Too real.
Too real.
Yeah. Sorry, I got distracted because the Shimoda is texting me. She literally asked me, when do you start your thing? And I texted her. I was like, right now. Right exactly now. If you don't know what we do here at Quick Reviews, each of us usually brings in one item to do a 1-minute review on. But something special happened. A huge game came out. I don't know if you guys have heard of this game.
Alien Invaders.
Yeah, Space Invaders.
Space
Invaders. Yeah, right?
Biggest craze in our country right now. So usually each of us bring in one separate thing to review or whatever, but today is a special episode of Quick Reviews, and we're going to talk about our Fallout 4 impressions.
The exclusive for the Commodore 64.
So I don't know if you guys want to start off or you want me to start off. How do you want me to sort of lead into it?
Considering it's your copy that we've
all played or watched. I mean, I watched some people stream it on Twitch.
Yeah. So I'm not the biggest. I don't have the biggest history with Fallout. The biggest, the most of the relationship I've had with Fallout 3, you can literally watch one of our Let's Plays, and that's the extent of like what I played with Fallout 3. Didn't like the controls.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't blame you.
With graphics, like, I don't hate the graphics. It's just the way that color was decided in that game. I think everything, they're just like, let's just make the whole game just look like a really good
grayish brown
green. Just like a poop green, you know?
Your character options in Fallout 3 were either black guy or Chuck Norris. Or a girl.
Or like weird kind of Asian white looking girl.
Yeah.
I made girl characters, obviously.
Yeah.
So
Those were like the three main choices.
Yeah, but like the world just didn't look, and not graphic wise, it's just like the environment, and nothing popped out to me. And then Fallout 4 improved on that.
like detail wise,
but just like colors and like, you know, there's more than three
pretty.
colors in the game, you know.
Yeah.
I guess.
And the gunplay, I never liked the gunplay. You can never aim down sights. You always had to do it from the
Stormtrooper.
hip fire.
yeah.
Hip fire.
And then, but if you didn't want to do that, you had VATS, which I felt was a way too slow pace. It didn't feel good to me.
Easy. Yeah.
Gunplay and VATS are both improved. VATS have changed, if you don't know. It doesn't completely freeze time now. It just slows down time, so you actually really have to do some quick thinking while trying to strategize and all that stuff. And that naturally makes VATS feel much faster. And I really enjoy that. So now I use VATS a lot. And I found myself never wanting to use it in 3. And just the story is, so far, what I've played through, is really, really intriguing. And I don't want to be here right now. Like, I was playing it this morning. I was like, oh, we have to go do that thing. Who's in charge? Like, why do I have to go? But then I remembered I'm in charge and I'm making myself go.
I have been dying last night and this whole morning fighting
to not buy it
right now.
Yeah.
So just so I can save like $20 more.
Yeah. That's reasonable, you know.
But it's so good though. So
it's
crazy. It's crazy hard.
And Annie, you're sort of like you two are sort of the Fallout experts here, I would say.
Bethesda in general.
Yeah, you guys are Bethesda in general, like just enthusiasts. Annie, like what are your impressions of the game so far? Being a like a diehard Fallout 3 person.
Being a woman.
Thanks.
And like losing your entire life almost to Skyrim. Like,
Yeah, that was a tough 2 weeks.
so like, what are your impressions so far of? I don't think you played much yesterday.
I only watched.
Yeah, you only watched,
people
and
play.
then so like, what pops out to you?
The amount of different like groups and factions you can join. So far, I've seen maybe 4 to 6 different types of groups that you can kind of be a part of, which I imagine affects the storyline a great deal. Because I know in Skyrim there was really only 2. There was really only like what's the Stormcloaks and
Well, there's
Imperials,
actually like a good amount of factions you can join in.
yeah, but those are like
Like,
those
you
don't
meant,
really
like-
affect the storyline.
Like
though,
from
right?
like the main, like kind of like the war going on at the time.
Yeah.
Like kind of the
Okay,
main thing.
That's true.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, the
'cause
other
I
ones
don't
are
know,
just
the
kind of
other
like.
ones, they're just kind of there. You can be a werewolf. That's cool.
Yeah, that's another thing that I find funny is that I've found myself comparing Fallout 4 a lot to Skyrim than Fallout 3.
Yeah, or New Vegas.
Because you can tell where like Bethesda's like trail of thought.
Like
when
the
some
blacksmithing and the crafting, like
The
there's no
lockpicking.
there's no
Yeah.
repairing your guns anymore because you never had to
Yeah.
do that in Skyrim either.
Yeah.
You could improve them, but you didn't have to like repair it.
Yeah.
So
Even like the setting up your character, like the system that they build, like I was
Yeah.
telling you when we got it,
pretty
is
similar.
a lot like Skyrim's version, where it's like like on the Fallout version, it's like that poster, and you have like all of your main skills and stuff, all of like your categories, and then within those you have specific skills.
I'm glad you brought that up. The thing with the specials, I found special is way different. The only sort of trace of the old special system from 3 is at the very beginning. You get to add like certain points to what special you
the
want
main
more,
ones,
and that's the
big
only
ones,
part that's like the same. And then after that, you have like this poster in the game, and you have like your special. And you can upgrade like the general like
the smaller ones, like I don't know.
well, so this is how it
Stealth
works.
or whatever.
So it's like this big poster. It's like the top layer is special,
Yeah.
like your basic ones, and then there's levels. And so to be able to improve like different like levels under, let's say like charisma, you have to like, let's say I was at level 3 charisma, so I'd be able to like improve on the first 3 levels of like that charisma
Yeah,
thing.
okay.
So I could either spend a point on upgrading my level of charisma to 4 or improving the first 3. And the also thing like something else that you have to do to unlock it. Some of them it requires you to be a certain level yourself.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I feel like it's gone a little too deep at this point.
Complex wise.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel
But-
like it's unnecessarily.
I think it also justifies how vast the world is, though. It gives
And
you
how you want to play.
Yeah, it gives you more to
Yeah.
it. Like I'm gonna go back to Skyrim. Skyrim is a huge game.
Yeah.
That
pretty
can get
huge.
overwhelming after a while, and also like you can get so good at the game that it's fucking boring.
Yeah,
because
you
of-
hit things, one hit things, and
because
then
of.
it's like,
Because of just how
sorry.
easy it is.
Yeah.
So Skyrim has like you can like master everything, and
master
there
all your skills.
and there are even without that, it's still like the same amount of depth in learning your skills. Like you have to be a certain level to learn something. There are multiple things, multiple levels to one specific skill.
Yeah.
It's really, really in depth. But that's what I like. Like I can kind of see like where Bethesda took that from Skyrim and try to organize it a bit more.
Okay.
Because it is laid out better in that like poster concept.
I feel like there's more skills in Fallout
Yeah.
in general than there ever were in Skyrim.
I do like because correct me if I'm wrong here, but for Fallout 3, when you got like when you leveled up, you got like a certain amount, like 15 points or whatever, and
yeah.
you could like spend them however you want. And there's no like specific. Like, oh, I want to specifically improve on how I pickpocket or something.
It's just like the general skills.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
do appreciate that. There's just some. I guess it's the way they present it just is a little confusing at first. So
Especially that this is like the first real like open world RPG that you're really getting into.
yeah, like like the
That's not
like
Chrono Trigger.
well, you know what? I got into Witcher 3
Oh yeah, no, that's true. That's
and
true.
Mad
Yeah,
Max.
Yeah.
So and Assassin's Creed Syndicate,
Which I also love that you played Mad Max.
it's like the year of like just open world
games,
RPGs.
yeah.
Like even Assassin's Creed's jumping on that bandwagon.
I also love that you got the chance to finish Mad Max before this, because I think that was a good like stepping stone into this.
I did not
Was it
like.
not as
Well, Mad Max was
complex?
Mad Max was very simple. Of here's this huge world,
Drive.
drive around, take out these factions, so it's not as cluttered with enemies and whatnot.
okay?
And it was just a really good checklist game of just mindless, just doing
Grinding
whatever.
almost.
But the thing with Mad Max and this, like I wrote on my Tumblr thing, where you can find it, missmanandlerchong.tumblr.com, where I write every Saturday about video games and stuff. I wrote about, like, after I beat Mad Max, I felt that was really empty. And that was more of the story's fault than it was the actual gameplay. Because the story, like, spoilers for Mad Max in our Fallout 4 impressions video. The ending of that game is, like, you've taken your whole time taking over this world, and at the end of that game, you just drive off away from this world. And it's like, what the hell did I just do all of that for? You know?
The good of the people.
Whatever. It's Mad Max world. There's no good of the people here.
It's apocalyptic.
So I was sort of scared about that for Fallout, where am I going to do all of this stuff and then the story is going to make me not care about any of the stuff that I did. But here's the thing, and this is my little segue into the story here. And how I really like the story. You like that little segue?
Barrett's trail of thought, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. So I hated the story for Fallout 3. I played, I think, 4 hours of it total. Like, you guys saw the first hour, and then I continued on. And the main quest is, like, Liam Neeson's your dad. He left the vault. Try to find him here. Oh, he's not here. Do something for me so I can tell you where he is. Okay, you did that thing for me. Here's where he's at. And it's just, like, on and on and on and on.
Yeah.
And I guess that, like, maybe it changed up after 4 hours, but it wasn't enough. There wasn't enough diversity in, like, the main quest to make me really care.
Right.
And like almost in like that mentality of being a vault dweller, like waking up and your Amada or whatever telling you like your dad has left. And it's like, oh, that sucks. And they're like, oh, and they're trying to come and find you and kill you or whatever. It's like, why? It's not like I've left the vault. Like, what are you? None of the motivation in that game really made any sense to me. But this, spoilers for Fallout 4. Sorry, you're watching the video. You just gotta expect it. You just gotta. I'm sorry.
I don't know what you're thinking going into this.
Yeah.
But
With the title,
but
yeah. Sorry.
it's gonna happen.
Sorry. So the story of Fallout 4 is you are from 2077. That's the year the bombs dropped.
I forget.
I
Sounds
think
about right.
I think it's 2077.
It sounds real.
Yeah.
Sounds real.
So you lived through the day that China dropped the bombs on you.
Yeah.
And so you go down into your vault and they cryo freeze you, basically. They don't tell you that. They say, like, oh, we're decontaminating you, like, you'll be out in just, like, a second. But they're really, like, just freezing you. And, like, that was, like, the real test of the vault, because I learned about this recently in, like, one of those, like, Fallout universe in 5 minutes or whatever.
Oh,
that
yeah,
vaults
yeah.
weren't actually designed to live in.
Yeah.
It was all of these, like, isolation tests and stuff, which I thought was really interesting. So the test of this one was to see if people could survive in cryogenic freeze, which is so fucked up. This universe is really messed up, man.
The one in Fallout 3 where they're in the like virtual simulator.
Yeah.
In that little
That's
town
where you
with the pint-sized killers.
That's where you save your dad from, right? Or someone puts your dad into that at one point.
Yeah. That's
messed up. I really don't like this universe. So anyway, well, I do, but it's just messed up.
Yeah.
Apocalypse.
So at one point, you wake up from like the freeze, and like your wife and your baby, named Nora and Sean, or maybe your husband, whatever gender you're playing as, they start taking they start opening her thing up, and they try to take the baby. And the wife's like, no. And then they shoot the wife and they kidnap the baby. So I feel dedicated. And then you go back into cryo sleep. And then you wake up again at one point. And I feel really dedicated to the story. It's like, you mess with my family.
I'm gonna get you.
I'm coming to get you.
I'm gonna get you.
Like with 3, it was just like, my dad left.
Trying to find my dad.
That sucks.
Trying to find my dad.
Give free clean water to everybody.
Like, I didn't feel a drive to find my dad. I was like, my dad's the
adult.
jackass
He's the
here.
adult
like,
here. Yeah.
I don't care. Yeah. But in this one, it's like, you're messing with me. You're messing with my family. I'm coming to get you. So I feel this drive, and like all of the side quests are really, really fascinating. I don't want to spoil it for you guys. I just
I
did it.
Buy it after this. So bad.
I have a question. A lot of people were concerned about the character actually talking and having a narrative.
So this is something that's interesting for me.
Yeah.
Fallout 3. We talked about, Henry and I talked about this in, let's see, the shitcast that went up this last Sunday was episode 10. So we talked about this in episode 9, where my experience with Fallout 3 in the Let's Play at least. When the character didn't, like, when there was no dialogue for the character you're playing as, like, I felt I could just do whatever I want, really.
You can say whatever.
Yeah, and so, like, I talk about in that podcast that I try to have, like, sex with, like, the lady of the night who works at Moriarty's pub in Megaton.
The hoe, you
but,
can
like,
say it.
Keep it real. But the game wouldn't let me, and I was like really annoyed. So I ended up blowing up the town because I was so annoyed, and I felt like I could do that because I was just like, whatever.
Did you take the sheriff's hat?
I didn't know that was an option. I literally went from talking to Mr. Burke to talking to the lady of the night, getting annoyed at her, and then finding out where your dad is. And like, because she gives you the password to, like, Moriarty's computer.
Yeah.
So I did that, and then literally right after that, I went to, like, the tower that I had to meet him, Mr. Burke, at, and then blew up the place. Like, I immediately did that. Like, I was so annoyed. But having a voice in this almost, like, reminds you that you have a conscious ending. That you're a person. And so when I accidentally, like, sometimes I'll, like, say something, like, it'll give you, like, I like the tree that they sort of have, sort of based off of, like, Telltale a little bit. I like that because they'll give you, like, little descriptions of what you're about to say, but not the full extent of, like, what you will say. So there was one option, and it wasn't very descriptive, and this is, like, sort of the problem I have with it. It wasn't very descriptive, and in my head I was saying, I forget, like, what it said, but in my head I was saying it a different way. Like, a sort of, like, questioning it a little bit. Yeah. And then I pressed it, and he was like, my character was a total dick. And I felt really, like, genuinely bad, like, hearing it out loud. I was like, oh,
that's not what I meant to say.
And it was to, like, someone who, like, works in the Brotherhood of Steel. I was like, oh, God.
Every time we say Brotherhood of Steel, I think Dark Brotherhood in my head, and then I have to be like, wait, are we talking about Fallout or Skyrim?
Talking about the clan of murderers or the cool people in the power armor?
So I do like that there is dialogue from your character now, because it does remind you that you are a person. These are people. So and there's more humanization in a lot of these characters. I care about these characters more, especially, like, their stories I think are more engaging. And I don't know if that's due to the stories themselves actually being more engaging, or just because the Fallout 4 doesn't look as good as other PS4 games, but it looks way better than Fallout 3. And so, like, the NPCs, like, actually look like they're giving emotion at this point, and not like Fallout 3 where it's like, oh my God, I am so surprised.
New Vegas was a little bit better, but not
enough.
I played, like, the first, like, 10 minutes of New Vegas, I think, like, years ago when it first came out, and I was not.
I never finished it because it's on my PC and it's not the same. For me, I really like playing, on a
console, like a real person.
I mean, PCs have way more options, though. Not gonna lie.
I don't know, that one story your friend was talking about, where he got Fallout 4 for his PC, and then he had to upgrade his graphics card.
Oh,
you know what you don't have to do that for?
Tag Eric in this.
You know what you don't have to do that for?
This video.
The console.
PS4s. Xbox Ones. Well, the cool thing about modding is now PCs are totally irrelevant. Xbox One's getting modding for Fallout 4 soon, and then PlayStation 4 is going to get it later. So that'll be cool. Because they're basically computers. At this point, they're basically computers.
The thing that I was going to say about the whole your character can talk now and Fallout 4 that I just remembered was my main issue was that I was scared it was going to do the same thing that EA did with Mass Effect and your main character Shepard, where he can talk, but he barely said anything. He was super repetitive and he talked like a robot. Like,
yeah, that doesn't happen.
Like your companions had more emotion than they did.
Yeah, that doesn't happen. Like your character... Yeah. Like, the voice actors that they got for both, like, the male and the female that you can play as were really, really good.
Yeah.
And they're not, what do you call it? Stoic anymore.
Yeah.
My idea of the Lone Wanderer in the Wasteland is very stoic. They don't say anything. You know, you just press a button and the person responds to you.
But I think that makes sense a little more in, like, the story, at least, because this guy is used to, like, being in civilization in 2077, so even though he is a soldier of like the past, like he knows how to be part of a civilization. And so, like the story, at least with like the side quests, like there's a quest I just did this morning where I saved a companion that I now have available because I saved him, and now he's helping me with like my main quest. Like he has like a special skill set. That's all I'll say, that he can help me out with certain things, and I think that's really cool. And there's like something with his story where I want to like, just like where he comes from, I like want to know more, and I like want to help him out. And I think I get the option to help out his story as well, because he's got like a really, really cool story. And I think the whole anti-synth thing. So I'm going to ask you guys this because you guys are Fallout experts, the biggest Fallout experts here in this room. Was like synthetics and like the institution, was that a thing in Fallout 3?
Not that I know of. No. I think the institution is a whole new
Okay.
That's
faction.
new.
Yeah, so
who was the evil people in Fallout 3? I don't remember their names.
It was those Morse code people.
Morse code people.
No, their Hellfire armor. I remember. What were they called again? Oh my god. So much for experts, huh?
Well, in this room, everywhere.
In this room,
this is what we got.
I'm gonna look it up because
BZG News is the best we can do.
I have a Fallout wiki like bookmark on my phone.
Expert guest.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. Guest. Any vote for you, everybody. Let's see if I can think about something else to talk about while she does some research here.
Avoid awkwardness. The character customization is really in depth.
Speaking of customization, let's talk about Sanctuary, which is like your own town that you can build and put people in, and it's basically Fallout Shelter, but it's not a vault. It's literally, and that was like Bethesda's like smart way of introducing us to Sanctuary, was making this app. They knew what they were doing here, because it's literally like the same thing. It's like you got to have a certain amount of energy, food, water supply, and like happiness can go up or down and all of this stuff. Like it's scary to me. Like for the first couple hours when you were watching me play it, I was like really into it. I was getting like okay. But the same thing happened with me with this as Fallout Shelter. I stopped caring. It's like I saw appeal to this for like as a distraction for a couple of hours, but now like it's just gonna take way too long to build this up, and the rest of the game itself is already gonna take forever. So
so do you have to do it?
Do you have to do it? No.
Okay.
Yeah. You don't have you don't have to do anything. You can just walk around.
I just didn't know if that was like a huge connection to the main storyline, or they just kind of guide you there.
I think you can store all of your companions there, and that's the cool thing. I don't know if this was like a Fallout 3 sort of situation. When you had companions, like if you let one go, they were gone. Was that like how that worked?
Yeah.
Okay.
Really?
So
yeah, I
thought
remember.
You could come back and get them. I know in Skyrim you were able to.
In
go back.
Skyrim you could.
You could go find them.
So
they can also die.
Yeah.
In Fallout 4, your companions.
I got it. The Enclave.
There you go. Yeah.
So those were the bad guys.
Yeah.
In 3. So apparently, well, I'm gonna finish my thought with the sanctuary. Shit, where was I in the sanctuary part?
The fact that you were getting bored of it, and then I asked if you had to do it, and then you didn't have to do it, and then you were talking about companions again.
Oh yeah, here we go. So companions, they don't. You can store them at sanctuary. They like all will just hang out there and whatnot, and they can never die. So you can always like with your current companion go back to sanctuary, and the cool thing is, I don't know if you could do this with like companions at Skyrim or whatnot. You can store items into them.
In them while they're not your companion.
Yeah.
You could do that.
Yeah.
In Skyrim.
Really?
Yeah.
I was always afraid of them leaving with my shit, so I always took my shit out of them.
No, every time what was her face?
Lydia.
Every time every time I got to Honey whatever the house was called.
Oh yeah.
Every time I got back there, she was always in that room sitting, eating bread, going.
Yeah, but that's because she's your thingy.
Your wife?
No, not even marry. You marry her, yes.
Yeah.
Because you're the Thane and she's the whatever.
Yeah,
she serves you.
Yeah.
So she stays in your house no matter what. But if you have
she's
another
like
companion,
a sex slave.
Yeah, she can't leave.
But if you like let's say the girl you fight in the bar in Whiterun and you win and she follows you, and like if you leave your stuff in her and you stop having her, she doesn't. You leave your stuff in her.
She has a kid and now you have to be with her all the time.
Child support. No, doesn't she just go back to the bar? She doesn't go back to your house.
I don't know, but with Lydia, I put my stuff in her,
Lydia always stays at your house,
and it was there when I got back.
Okay, so anyway, Fallout 4, they will stay in Sanctuary.
Let's go back.
So anyway, it seems like they're building up, going back to story. Transition, not as smooth transition
not
back
Sanctuary.
to story. Not Sanctuary. We're talking about story here now.
Gotta rub it.
So the story, it seems like they're building up this institution as like the main bad guys.
Evil,
Everybody's anti-synth, which is apparently
You're gonna say anti-Semitic.
No, they're just against 80s synthesized pop.
Yeah, exactly. So like the institution apparently are these like scientists who live like in like an underground base and create things, and they created this thing called synth, where it was like androids at one point that they wanted to replace the human race with.
Awkward.
So there's like I ran into in a side quest some like very early synth, like in the story you learn like they've been working and trying to improve them over time. So there's like these obvious like synth guys who like look nothing like people, but then like apparently they've been releasing human-looking synth people out into the world. So
you can't tell.
So there's like in Diamond City, which is like sort of like your megaton. Okay. In 4, there's like this huge fear of synth, and everybody is very anti-synth. So I think that's what the story is sort of leading up to, and like somehow that'll interconnect with the kid.
Somehow.
So
I like it.
I really like the story so far. Not the band.
I was like,
not the band.
We should have mobbed, and I should have worn mine too.
Wow, that would have been funny. Groupies. I have a question about. So you were talking about how the narration makes the our main character, our lone wanderer, seem more human. Is there still like a good and bad karma meter?
There is no karma, so there is speculation.
Okay.
If you know me from the Kinda Funny community, which you probably don't because no one watches these videos.
Whoops.
So there's speculation on
Fluffy's going, that's right.
Yeah.
Fluffy's just watching. Yep.
The one person watching our videos.
He watches every week. He's our one dedicated subscriber.
Yeah, but it's weird because Fluffy's sort of like our 5th member of BTG, so it's like we have literally no one who watches us. We just watch ourselves. So anyway, Greg Miller from Kinda Funny, he's speculating. There is no obvious karma thing, but the game will still update you on like, you've stolen like this many items like throughout like periodically throughout the game. So people are speculating that at the very end, like throughout the game won't tell you like, oh, you've gained good karma or if you've gained bad karma. But maybe at the very end, the ending of the game is different because of all of
The reputation.
So,
Okay.
So right now, as far as we know, the game's kind of like your ride or die, which isn't gonna like tell you you're a horrible person. He's just kind of like, all right, so you
It's like
stole...
it's like your third grade teacher.
It's just like, all right, so you stole all of this stuff, and I know like it's what you do, and I'm with you because I love you, but I'm just letting you know that this is what you're doing with your life.
Exactly.
You know?
And like when you're with companions, some companions won't like it when like if
you're all
you do it's like
aggressive.
I'm not gonna carry the shit you stole.
Codsworth is like your like robot butler, and you can use him as a companion.
Oh really?
And if you
that's badass.
yeah, he's got some really cool like fighting skills.
I just imagine
like a
him like take out
flamethrower.
guns.
So anyway, if you're walking around with Codsworth, you can do side quests with him, and sometimes you have the option like, oh, I'll do this for more money. And if you do that, it'll tell you Codsworth really hated that, or Codsworth didn't
Really?
like
It
that.
lets you know what people are thinking?
Yeah, it's really
Codsworth hates when you talk to him like that.
Yeah.
Codsworth hates people from Arizona.
So I want to sort of end it there because we're going a little long today.
Are we?
Yeah, we're at like 30 minutes, I think.
Oh.
About.
Oh, damn! I didn't
Just
feel like we
edit
were
some
talking
shit
about.
out.
Because this game is so exciting. I literally don't want to be here right now. I want to be at home playing Fallout 4.
So I
just want to. We're gonna end it soon.
Okay.
Do you guys have any last minute thoughts?
I do.
What's your last minute
So
thought?
once this is over, I need to calculate. Can you drive me to GameStop? Once we're done.
Are you gonna get
Once
that
we're
game
done,
from Tasia?
You're like.
So I can just. I'm just using my $20. I'm paying for
all
$4.
right.
I'll use Until Dawn for something else. Tasia Cat. I don't care. I just want it.
You can use
Use it for the DLC that's gonna come out.
Yeah, or Battlefront. Or you're not getting Battlefront.
I might if I use Until Dawn towards it.
Okay.
But
okay.
I just know that I want Fallout 4 when we're done with this.
Annie, do you have any closing thoughts on Fallout 4?
Oh, not on Fallout 4.
Okay.
On soup.
My phone case is also the story
No,
so
okay.
far.
Not relevant to this episode. So, I think we usually, at the end of a quick review, give it a rating of yee or pfft. And I don't know if we can give it a score yet.
Since it's
I think
not
our
complete.
score, my score right now so far, my impression, we'll probably come back in a week or two in one of our future episodes of quick reviews and talk a little bit more about it once you play it a little more, once Henry plays it a little more.
Yeah, I need to,
and give more of a basis. But so far, I'm about 10 hours in, almost 10 hours in, and so far it's a yee. And this is coming from someone who didn't like Fallout 3 like at all.
Doesn't play
take that with a
RPGs.
grain of salt. Take that if you really loved 3 and you might not like the changes that they made in 4. Like take that with this,
With a grain of pepper.
with a grain of pepper.
Spice.
So thank you so much for joining us for this episode of Quick Reviews. Again, my name is Barrett Courtney. As always, I'm your host, except when I'm not, which is never. And today, thank you so much, Ricky and Annie, for joining me. Annie is our guest this whole week for BCG, so you can find her in these upcoming episodes
You're here
of
for a
Talking
week.
Shit.
Shit.
So be on the lookout for that. And let's see. If you need to keep up to date on BCG and all that good stuff, you can always find us on Twitter, collectively at baiazonagamers. I am at Benandler Chong. Ricky is at Baldazan96. Annie,
I don't use Twitter.
You don't use the tweets? That's completely okay.
I don't either, but I have one.
I know, I have one, but I don't use it.
Thanks for watching us. My name's Kevin Smith, and this has been the Comic Book Men podcast, where
No.
2 out of 3 members are Mandalorians. Goodbye.
No, that's not how that
That's
works.
not our podcast.
So what are your thoughts of Fallout 4? You can leave your thoughts in the comments below. Do you agree with what we have to say? All that stuff. Just leave it in the comments below. If you liked this video, like that like button, share with your friends, subscribe to this channel.
I'm tagging all the people we mentioned. So,
Like all of the 2 people.
well, I
That we
mentioned
know.
Vincent. I mentioned my friend Eric.
Okay.
We mentioned Fluffy.
Yeah, that's true. Well,
Fluffy already
we
watches.
always talk about Fluffy. So thank you again one last time for joining us today. And until next time, have a great day full of open world RPGs, much like Fallout New Vegas.
Much like Elder Scrolls Oblivion. Huh?
Much
like-
like you're gonna ruin your life.
Much like Elder Scrolls Online.
Oh,
The greatest open world RPG MOBA experience.
I would call it a MOBA.